You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. Thank you for sitting around for a few minutes after the Astros finished up the sweep to join us this afternoon on the Locked On Astros Postcast. And for the first time this season, we are doing one of these when the Astros went out there and they hammered a great baseball team. The question to start the show, you guys can go ahead and fire away in those comments. I tweeted it earlier. I'll put it on our community page and everything today. Are they back? Are you finally at the point where you're thinking, the Astros are back? They're 3 games under 500. There's still a lot of work to do. They still got a big hurdle in front of them to get back into the American League playoff race completely. Now, they're in it. They're in the thick of it again. But to get back in it, they do pick up ground today because the Mariners lose, which you love to see every single time. But the question again, after watching them dispatch of a team that came into this series red hot, the way that they did it the last 2 days, especially with starting pitching, are the Astros back is the question. You can chime in again in the comments section. Appreciate all of you joining me. Appreciate all of you that went after our move to get to 1,000 yesterday. You got us past it, and we're still going. And I am so appreciative of it. You can keep hitting that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, keep telling people to hit that subscribe button. We keep growing, baby. And on all these games, most of these games, you guys know that have been here. If you're new, we're not typically 15 minutes after the game. It's usually game ends within 5 minutes we've started. I just was watching the game elsewhere today. I was trying to get back to the house. The game moved a little bit quicker than I was expecting it to move today. So, I don't live in the city of Houston. I live out in the suburbs, so it takes a second to get home. But what a great game. What a great game. Today's show, by the way, is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started. We'll get to Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez was excellent with the when the team needed him the most. I said they're 3 games under 500. They're 2 games under 500. That's on me. I have to do better than that. I know these things. I look at the standings every day. And for the first time this season, there is a chance they're going into this Rockies series and they are going to have the ability to be 40-40 after 80 games. I mean, I am going to say it. I will keep owning the words that I've said. I've done it multiple times. I've looked directly into this camera, and I've been like, hey, they're not going to the postseason this year. It's not happening. They're not figuring it out. There's something missing. There's going to be tough times that are still going to be ahead. They're going to hit a bump in the road. We know that. And this team has a history, late August, early September, of hitting a lull, which a lot of teams do. They can't afford to do that given where they are this year. But there will be another tough road ahead at some point. But right now, everything actually feels good. And for a team that's not even at full strength, that's not perfect at the moment, that's what I find encouraging, is that, I was frustrated. We've talked a lot about it with the way that this month of June started, given the schedule. And this was a sticking point series because you kind of looked at it and you go, well, you're playing a really good Baltimore team. But you're at home, you hope 2 of 3. But there's a chance you lose 2 of 3 to a team like that. And they had some losses throughout the month that weren't very fun, weren't very good. And it just kind of put some bad taste in your mouth at times. And they were just still kind of hovering around 500 for the month. And now they're starting to blitz well ahead that 500 mark for the month of June. And they are now in this month, 12-7. They've won over 62% of their games. I think it's the number. It's 61 at least, but I think it's 62. Don't ask me to do that math off the top of my head. It's exceptional. It's absolutely exceptional. Or maybe they're 13-7 now in the month. I'm trying to get my page to update here. and it doesn't seem to want to update on my stats. They're 13-7. My bad. So yeah, no, they're over 65% winning percentage in the month of June so far. That's the kind of month they have to have. And they've got 5 games left in it, and they've got 5 winnable games in it. They're going to have a little bit of an issue when it comes to rotation coming up. They're going to go on this 10-game road trip. They're going to play a lot of games after these 2 days off this week. They'll play a lot of games in a lot of days leading into the All-Star break. So, again, it's going to get a little bit tricky. But for a team right now that is not perfect in terms of personnel, I think the most encouraging part is something that we've all known. The offense should be lethal on this team. And they're starting to play like that. And they did it all weekend against a Baltimore team that is really good at pitching. I mean, I know the Suarez today wasn't very good. He's probably not, anything to write home about overall. He was having a good season in his back and forth role that he's had this year for the Baltimore Orioles. But they made quick work of him. I mean, I know he got through 5 innings, but they really pounded out the baseball. I mean, 15 hits today. You scored 14 runs in the first game. What was the number yesterday? I already forgot. It was 5 yesterday. It's a good day. You score 5 runs in a baseball game, you should win every time. But whether you go look, I mean, Altuve hopping first pitch today. He's been a little bit on the up and down side at times since his hot start of the season. But his recent numbers have really started to go in the right direction over the last couple of weeks. He's hitting over 340 in those 2 weeks. And he's hitting the baseball over the fence. And, there's probably still a little bit more strikeout, I think, than you'd like to see. A little bit more strikeout than we're used to with him. He still is up there flailing. I mean, look at it. This is scary. I mean, Altuve is well on pace to crush his career high in strikeouts this season, which is 91 back in 2021. He's going to strike out 100 times this year. He's already at 65, unless he just decides to stop striking out. But, strikeouts aren't the worst thing in the world. Alex Bregman has flipped the script on his season completely. He's got an OPS now up to 732, 4-hit day today. The only guy, one of the guys today you look at and didn't do anything. I mean, come on, Jordan, what are you doing? Yainer Diaz has turned his season around quite a bit. The Astros need Jeremy Pena to figure it back out. He started to figure it out. Dubon. He's going to hit well when he's in there. Loperfido gets on base a couple times today. Nothing for Chaz, but he was coming off a good day. How about Cesar Salazar? He's been decent since he's come up as well. But they're getting lethal at the plate, and that's huge. That's absolutely huge. And if they can continue to get, whether it's a Loperfido or a McCormick to giving you production, Dubon at first base when he plays, it's nothing against John Singleton, and I do like some of the stuff you see from Singleton at times because he'll take good at bats or whatever. And he'll hit the baseball hard. And, I think you're almost at a point where you can't pigeonhole Dubon into one spot because you need his versatility to play, to give Altuve a day at second, to give Pena a day at shortstop, to give Bregman a day at third base. So he's still going to kind of be in that hybrid type of role, which is fine as long as he's getting. And everybody always freaks out about getting at bats. As long as he's getting his at bats, it doesn't matter where they came. We went through this with Marwin Gonzalez for years. You went through it for years with Yainer Diaz. Like, they're going to find their way into the lineup, 4 to 5 of the 7 days of the week. That's just how their role is. But if he performs well enough and keeps doing his thing, and you need the offense, you might have to just keep playing him there at first base majority of the time. But they're lethal again. And I'm going to be honest with my personal feeling here. I said it. I've said a lot of things where I didn't think they're going to be a postseason team. They should be sellers. I've asked the questions to you guys about it, which, at the time, it's easy to do when it's the up and the down, and it's just not getting any better, and it just looks like you're stuck in this mud that they've kind of been stuck in this season. And today's the first day of the season, outside of opening day when they lost, like the feeling going in. But today's the first day in a post game, the entire season. This is after game 78 that I am honestly jacked up. Like, I am thrilled. I feel good about Astros baseball again. I have a confidence in me as a lifelong Astros fan watching them that all of a sudden, yeah, they've got a shot here. The Marlins took care of the Mariners again today. The Astros 6 out in the West, 4 out in the wild card. They got a half-game lead on Texas, who's just behind them, who I do believe ended up winning today. They got Max Scherzer back, and he was pitching well against the Kansas City Royals. I didn't see if the game went final yet. No, is that right? Is that they were playing the Royals? Why is it? I hate MLB.com. Every time I pull up MLB.com, it goes to like 3 days before on the scores. I don't understand. It's going back to like Thursday. Be better, MLB.com. The Rangers did win 4-0 today. Scherzer was shutout baseball against Kansas City. I'm not too worried about them personally. I think that you still concern yourself with Seattle and hope that they can continue to be bad at hitting the baseball. They're going to pitch. Their pitchers will hit walls like every other team's staff does throughout a season, and you hope that happens at a time where the Astros are red hot. But I mean it. For the first time this year, we're doing one of these shows where I'm like, okay, let's get to tomorrow. Unfortunately, tomorrow is a day off. It's a weird week. And by the way, for this show this week, we will have Tuesday's show. Unfortunately, I'm traveling Wednesday. I got a little day thing going on. So I will not be available for Wednesday's game. It's a day game against the Rockies. But we'll be right back Friday night. So just missing one game this week. But you guys come on back. If you're new to the channel again today, thank you for joining us on this Locked On Astros Postcast. We do this after almost every single game. Like I mentioned, it's a weekday. It's a Wednesday. I got an obligation. It's outside of Houston. I got to go. So I'll be doing that. And, then we'll be back for that. But hit the subscribe button today. You can join us, get our reaction, join in on the reaction. How you feeling? Are the Astros back? Keep firing away in the comments. I'll go look back, and I'm sure some of you have, done that. And yes, to all of you in the comments talking about the area, hit as the influencers on YouTube say, smash the like button, pound the subscribe button. I just love to do that goofy voice and make fun of those people. I just really want to hang out with you guys, talk Astros baseball. It's a great time, and celebrating what the Astros did. Let's go ahead and get to Framber Valdez, what he did today, what he is doing when he's good, and how they need him to find this consistently. We'll talk about that next. Summertime means a whole lot of baseball now that the NBA finals are over. We got another hockey game for a couple of games, but you can bet on it all at FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets. That's right, $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet on everything from who's going to be an MVP to who's going to hit one out of the park. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and add a big win to your summer bucket list. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And one more message real quick before we get back to our Astros discussion here on the Locked On Astros Postcast, and that is for PrizePicks. Have you downloaded the app yet? What are you waiting for? I have PrizePicks on my phone. You know why? Because I like to play it. I like to go in there and I like to pick my squads. I like to, more or less on a player. I feel like I always know what's going to happen. Look, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But it's the thrill of watching sports with something on it, and you can do that with the #1 fantasy sports app that has over 5 million members, and that is PrizePicks. With PrizePicks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats projections, and you are locked in. Like I mentioned, PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Get in on the action daily with your friends and become part of the PrizePicks community today. So go download that app right now and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, that's LOCKEDONMLB when you download the PrizePicks app. Locked On Astros Postcast as I try to swig. That little green Locked On thing is not fast enough. You can give me like 3 more seconds. I get water all over my beard. to get a sip of water. It's not that I can't drink water while I'm doing this show. I just don't think that you guys want to watch a show of me drinking water out of a bottle. And by the way, it's like the world's largest water bottle because I'm a water crazy person, and I drink like 3 or 4 of these a day. It's 100 ounces. So that's, if you ever wonder what I do with my life, that's how exciting I am. I live in the suburbs with my beautiful wife. I work out twice a day, and I drink like 300 to 400 ounces of water today. And, that's about it. And I watch Astros baseball. And I talk with you guys. I kind of like it. And I like it when the Astros win. That's the good thing. They are a very, very fun team to watch when they're doing this. And this really, I think this is the first time this season that if you had a fun meter, my fun meter would be like, I mean, you know what? No, I'm not going to hedge it. I'm going to be honest. Right now, my fun meter would be full. Like today, my fun meter's full. I had a lot of fun watching them play baseball today. I had a lot of fun watching them play the Baltimore Orioles all weekend long. Imagine being a Baltimore fan today. You went into this series red hot, hitting the baseball, pounded out a bunch of runs recently, and you came in and look, Friday night, they ended up scoring a bunch, 14-11, all of it happening basically late. You could say it's in garbage time, but it still made it a 3-run baseball game. But overall, I mean, it was in garbage time of the baseball game. That's the night that, of course, Jake Bloss made his debut, left with the injury, which was apparently good news. It's just inflammation in his shoulder. They're shutting him down for the next 5 days, and they expect him to start throwing again, is what Dana Brown, GM, said before the baseball game today. So that's a good thing for the Astros. They're going to need him back, actually. They need, for one, I'd like to see what he's got. They called him up. We got this brief little quick, introduction to him, and that was it. So I'm interested to see what his stuff looks like at the big league level. So we'll see what that is. But, to score 14 runs against Baltimore in that first game, to score 5 in game 2, and then today to pound on them again with a final of 8-1, I think is pretty darn spectacular. And then to have Ronel Blanco yesterday outduel their ace that they gave up a bunch to get in the offseason, a guy who's going to be a very prized possession here soon on the free agent market in Corbin Burns, to get to him like they did yesterday for the first time anybody's gotten 3 or more runs, more than 3 runs, excuse me. My mustache keeps poking me in the nose. I'm trying to talk too. To be the team that finally gets to him for more than 3 runs in a start, the Astros, I mean, I think they really sent a message to one of the American League's better teams. And not that they, have sent a message to the American League overall. I think the American League and baseball in general still knows the level of talent that the team has on its roster. It's just, the facts are the facts. For the vast majority of this season, they had a lot of guys completely underperform off of what they should be performing, what their expectation level is, as we as fans, the organization, have for them going into a season. Whether it was Bregman, whether it was the elonged slump for Yordan Alvarez. I mean, there was so much that went on for this baseball club that was not typical for what they do and was not expected based on how they were coming into the season. And, some of these guys have a track record of being slow starters. Some of them don't. But maybe they're figuring it out. And a guy that figured it out today, based off of recent performance, was Framber Valdez. Now, this is the life of Framber. We know this. That one season where he was Mr. Quality Start for 25 consecutive starts or whatever, that's not typical Framber Valdez. Typical Framber Valdez is he's going to be great or he's going to bust. And when he busts, it's typically pretty spectacular. But you really go and look at his season now, and he was brilliant today. 7 innings, 1 run, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's phenomenal. 104 pitches and 69 of them for strikes. Love it. It's coming off of a start where he was 6 innings, 2 runs. But if you just go look at I'll just run through them real quick. 7 2/3, no runs. 5 innings, 2 runs. 5 1/3, 5 runs. 7 innings, 2. 7 innings, 0. 5 innings, 8 runs. 6 for 3. 7 innings, 1 run, 9 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, 5 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 1 run. And I bring all those, I go through them all because I do think we get a little unfair with Framber Valdez at times. Now, look, yes, when he's bad, he's bad. But, I mean, go back and look at that or just listen to that. That is a total of 3 starts where he gave up over 5 runs. Everything else, he's 3 or less. And for the majority of them, he's 2 or less. And he has now made a total. So how many runs is that? That's he had 18 runs in 3 starts this season. Overall on the year, Framber Valdez has given up a total of 33 runs. So 18 of them came in 3 starts. And I do think we're a little bit unfair to him because of that. Sometimes we make it out like he is the guy that goes out there and is just, oh my God, garbage can, can't get an out, can't throw a strike. Now, there's moments in games where, yeah, things go awry for Framber, where he goes out there and he is, he's just, he'll lose it in 1 inning. He'll roll for 4 innings, and then the 5th inning comes along and it's walk the bases loaded, give up a couple of runs, and then that sours the feeling for the night. And I do get that. It's easy to be mad. And this season has been a season where it's easy to be mad. I don't want to live that way. I know that you guys don't want to live that way. We want to live in happiness. And today, Framber Valdez gave you every reason in the world to be a happy person. Feels good, right? I know it feels good for me. I'm happy. You see the smile on my face? The rest of my day today, I got a bunch of stuff to do. I need to prep some food for the week. I really need to go out, and unfortunately, I need to pick up a bunch of dog crap in the backyard because I haven't done that in about 4 days. I need to do that. I need to go mow my lawn if I have the time to do it. I need to get another run in today. I got a lot to do. But you know what? I'm going to have this big old cheese and grin on my face the whole time because Framber Valdez went out there and I hate this term. I absolutely hate this term in baseball today, but I'll use it. Why not? Framber Valdez shoved today, kids. That's what Framber Valdez did. And if he can bottle it together at all and do his thing, the Astros will be in a better place with him, with Blanco, the way he's been going this season. I mean, let's go. Sign me up. Hunter Brown doing his thing as well. They're starting to form into a rotation that is very workable. Hopefully get Verlander back sometime soon as well. And things are going to feel so much better. We got a lot more to get into. Rockies series ahead. If you're new to the channel today, first of all, welcome. You got a lot of you watching us 3 days in a row. There's been a lot of you guys watching. I really do appreciate it. You joining us live after these games. We'll do it again this week as they take on the Rockies. Then next weekend when they're in New York to take on the Mets. But please, while you're here, hit the subscribe button so you get the notifications when we go live. You can join us in the world of going back and forth. And very soon, there's going to be little clips posted up all over of this show if you missed it. We've got some cool new things coming from Locked On that I got to hear about the other day. I'm very excited about that and very happy to be part of this Locked On network and you guys going along on this ride with me. So, again, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Let's talk about that Rocky series. Let's talk about the importance of it, taking care of business like they did to Colorado earlier this season when they're down in Mexico. We'll do that in just a brief second. But first, I need to tell you about SupplyHouse. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line and free shipping and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. All right, final few moments of our Locked On Astros postcast today. Appreciate you guys for joining us. I do try to keep an eye on the comments as we roll along. You guys are always firing away. You have your conversations with each other, and I just saw one for David saying trade Yordan for an ace. David, no. Absolutely not. David, I love you like a fifth cousin. That's a bad one there. That's okay though. We all swing and miss. Look, I have a swing and a miss this season saying that they wouldn't get back into contention, that they wouldn't be a playoff team. So, I'm wrong. It's okay. It happens. Can't bat 1,000 in this world of baseball, even when we're making our comments. Rockies series coming up. Next 2 games. Day off tomorrow with a day off behind it as well before they head off on the road. It's going to be a lengthy road trip. 10-gamer coming up after this one with 3 in New York, 4 in Toronto, and 3 in Minneapolis before coming back home for 6 to wrap up the – it's not the end of the first half of the season. The Astros will be at the first half mark coming up Friday night when they're in New York for that one. But first up, Colorado, a team that, look, we watched the Astros play them earlier this season. They are one of the worst teams in baseball. They've won 27 games this season at the moment. That is tied with the Marlins for is that the second worst record in baseball? It is the second worst record in baseball. They've got a run differential of negative 123. Now, you're not playing at altitude in this game down in Mexico City or even in Colorado at Coors Field, which, by the way, still to this day, if you have never been to Coors Field, I've been to, I think, I'd have to sit down and do the exact number, but I think I'm up to like 14 ballparks, and Coors Field is no lower than number 3, probably number 2 or number 1. It's a phenomenal ballpark. It's just, it helps that there's mountains back there way off in the distance, and it's just, I don't know. I'm a born and raised Houstonian, love our state, love our city. If there's one place in this country that I'd move to, it would be Colorado. I've been to Colorado a million times in my life, so I love that place. If the Astros go back, which they will, go to Colorado. I would tell you to go out there to Denver and see that ballpark. But good news is their baseball team is terrible, and the next couple of days are primed for the Astros to get back to that 500 number. You never know. Bad teams can come out and have a good day and smack you. But it's going to be Hunter Brown versus Austin Gomber Tuesday night. And then Wednesday afternoon, Spencer Arrighetti up against a fella named Ryan Feltner, who's 1-6 with a 6.02 ERA. That pitching matchup in terms of raw numbers on Wednesday, it's kind of ugly. Arrighetti, 6.36 ERA. Feltner's 6.02 ERA. That one's got potential to be like Friday night's baseball game, 14-11. I'm going to bet it won't be that high, but still, it's got the chance to it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to call my shot. And no, David, stop in the comments. They're not trading Tucker for an ace either. That's 2, David. That's 2 today. Yeah, as Uncle Drew says, that's strike 2. I'm not doing anything to you, but you're about to strike out on the takes, buddy. You can save those for Tuesday's show. I wanted to say Wednesday for some reason. But they need to sweep this 2-game set. They should sweep this 2-game set, and I think that they will. I think they'll take care of their business over those 2 games against the Rockies and get themselves into a spot where they're back at 500, hitting the road to New York to face the Mets, another team that they should play well against, and maybe start to build a cushion over that 500 mark. I hope that I'm right. I really, 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 really do hope that I'm right on this one, that this is the start of it. I'm starting to believe. They've sucked me back in. I was so down in the dumps. I've been a little angry at times this season. I've been a little tired of having to watch them at times this season. But right now, they've sucked me back into joy. Thank you, Astros. I want more of it. Please give me more. Open that buffet back up. I am hungry. I'm actually hungry right now, so I'm going to go eat real quick before I go do the rest of my stuff for the day. Thank you so much again for all of you piling in, pouring in, watching the show again today. Please hit the subscribe button while you're there if you're new to the channel. Keep passing it along to everybody you know to hit subscribe, to come join us after these games. I greatly appreciate it. Let's keep talking Astros baseball. Let's keep enjoying Astros baseball. Good times ahead, people. They've started to figure it out. That was the best series they've had all season long. Here is to a lot more of that. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I will talk to you guys Tuesday night after Astros and Rockies right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.